In this family, you no longer matter. My dad didn't shout it. He said it calmly, almost casually, like he was stating a fact that had been obvious for a long time. We were standing in the living room after yet another argument that started over something small and turned into something bigger. My sister had complained that I never help. My mom had nodded along, and my dad delivered the final line like a judge closing a case. I didn't argue. I didn't defend myself. I didn't even react. I just nodded, because in that moment, something very clear clicked inside my head. If I no longer mattered here, then I was free. Hey, if you enjoy my content, please subscribe and hit the bell. Your support means everything and helps me keep creating. Thank you so much. Free from expectations. Free from guilt. Free from trying to prove my worth to people who had already decided I didn't have any. That night, I went to my room and opened my laptop. I looked at my schedule, my commitments, the small things I did daily for the family without thinking, paying bills online, fixing tech issues, running errands, picking up groceries, helping with paperwork, driving my parents to appointments. All the invisible work that nobody noticed because it was always done quietly. I made a decision. I was going to stop. Not angrily, not dramatically, just silently. The next morning, my mom asked if I could pay the electricity bill online. I'm busy, I said calmly. She looked surprised. You always do it. Not today. My sister asked if I could drop her somewhere on my way to work. I have other plans. She frowned. Since when? Since now. I wasn't rude. I wasn't loud. I wasn't disrespectful. I was simply unavailable. And for the first time, I redirected my time and attention to myself. I started staying late at work, focusing on projects I had been ignoring. I began going to the gym regularly. I enrolled in an online course I had postponed for months. I started spending weekends outside instead of at home fixing things for everyone. At first, they didn't notice. Then, slowly, things began to fall apart. The internet bill got cut because no one remembered to pay it. My dad struggled with some online paperwork he had never learned to do. My sister missed a meeting because she assumed I would give her a ride. Little inconveniences. But they added up. One evening, my mom said, slightly irritated, "Why are you acting like this lately?" Like what? I asked. Like you don't care. I looked at her calmly. I thought I didn't matter. She didn't respond. Because she remembered. They all did. And for the first time, they were experiencing what it felt like when I truly didn't matter. At first, they treated it like a phase. Something's gotten into you, my sister said one evening when I walked past her struggling with the Wi-Fi router. I shrugged. You'll figure it out. She stared at me like I had spoken a different language. Because for years, I had been the one who figured things out. Without being asked twice. Without being thanked. Without being noticed. Now, I was simply absent. Not physically. Functionally. My dad tried next. He walked into my room holding a stack of papers. I need these submitted online tonight. I'm working, I said without looking up. He stood there for a few seconds, waiting for me to turn around and take them like I always did. I didn't. You used to handle this, he said. I used to matter, I replied calmly. He didn't say anything after that. He just left the room quietly. That was the moment I realized something important. They had never noticed how much I did. They only noticed when I stopped. Days turned into weeks. The house felt different, slower, disorganized. Small problems kept stacking up because no one had the habit of fixing them early. Groceries ran out more often. Bills were paid late. Appointments were missed. My sister started asking neighbors for small favors she used to ask me for. And I kept my distance. I wasn't angry anymore. I wasn't trying to prove anything. I was just investing my energy where it actually returned something to me. Work started going better. My focus improved. I got noticed for projects I had previously rushed because I was always mentally tired from home responsibilities. I started earning more, learning more, sleeping better. One evening, my mom came into my room quietly. "Are you upset with us?" she asked. I looked at her gently. "No." "Then why are you so distant?" I thought for a moment before answering. "I'm not distant. I'm just not available." She sat down on the edge of the bed. "We're family. You should be available." I smiled faintly. I thought I didn't matter here. Her face tightened. "Your dad didn't mean it like that. He said it exactly like that." She had no reply, because deep down, she knew it wasn't the first time they had treated me like an extra person in my own house. It was just the first time I had responded by withdrawing instead of trying harder. That night, I heard my parents arguing softly in their room. Not loudly, not dramatically, but the tone had changed. For the first time, they were discussing how much I used to do. Not because they missed me, because they missed the convenience. And that realization didn't hurt. It clarified everything. A few days later, my sister knocked on my door. "Can you help me with something?" she asked. "What is it?" She hesitated. "I need to submit some documents online." I paused. "I can show you how to do it." She frowned. "You can just do it. It'll take 2 minutes." "I don't do things for people who think I don't matter," I said calmly. "But I can teach you." She stared at me for a long time, then nodded reluctantly. That was the first time she ever learned to do something herself that she used to dump on me. And I realized something powerful. They had mistaken my helpfulness for obligation. They had mistaken my presence for permanence. They had mistaken my effort for weakness. Now, they were slowly realizing none of that was true. I didn't need to shout. I didn't need to fight. All I had to do was redirect my time, my attention, and my energy. And suddenly, they felt the absence of something they never valued when it was there. A month later, my dad called me into the living room. His tone was different, quieter. "We need to talk," he said. I sat down across from him. My mom and sister were already there, unusually silent. He cleared his throat. "That day, I shouldn't have said you don't matter." I didn't react. I just listened. "We didn't realize how much you were doing for all of us," my mom added softly. "We thought you were just around." I nodded. I was. That was the problem. They exchanged looks. My sister spoke next, reluctantly. "Things have been harder without you helping." I smiled slightly. "That's not because I stopped caring. It's because you never noticed I was carrying things quietly." The room felt heavy with understanding. "I'm not angry," I continued, "but I'm not going back to how it was. I'll help when I choose to, not because it's expected. I'll be present, not responsible for everything." They nodded slowly. That day, something shifted, not because they suddenly valued me, but because they finally understood what my absence felt like. And I learned something too. When someone tells you that you don't matter, sometimes the best response isn't to argue. It's to step back and let them feel exactly what that means.